mixing it up. Been working on the gardens all morning, already exhausted, but one of the things I found is some of my berry plants are just ridiculously overgrown and ready for clipping. I'm going to spin this around. I also propagated a few plants over the winter, and I got out of like 5 or 10, about 10, I got these guys already independently growing. So I figured, what a great time to just stream from the greenhouse. Here's all my vines that I'm going to use to clip and propagate. What up, Pinky? Just working from the greenhouse today. Since all of Mary's tropical plants died from the storm, we've decided this year we're going to grow starters and try to sell starters. And it's going pretty well so far. But today we're going to focus on, it's rainy and stormy here. I know it's going to get down to 20 out here tomorrow. So I'm trying to get this done. But yeah, here's what's left of Mary's world. A lot of death. It's the only stuff that she even considered holding on to, and a lot of it just barely clinging on. But I hope you had, did you get your wine? I'm gonna put on my clip here. Oh my God, beautiful. Did you enjoy it? Well, my wife was almost a wine steward, and that's her favorite wine so far. With pineapple wine, I mean, you know, anything tropical, of course, but chicken for sure, anything light. Just think about it like white wine, because it is a very just light white wine. Let's get some of these going. I'll start clipping them. Gosh, I should be able to get like 100 plants out of this. This is I just bought this wheelbarrow recently from an old guy who likes doing up wheelbarrows. I don't know if you can see into there. He made this a Christmas themed wheelbarrow. And I just thought, man, what a chicken kale apple salad. That would go great with that, with Preacher's Pulpit. The inside of the wheelbarrow says live, laugh, love. Man, what a great thing for an old guy to do with his retirement. Just buy wheelbarrows and paint them up. We do, but we're using these for propagations. Like those are all elderberries. These are Roma tomato plants. We just transplanted them last week. Here's all of our sprouts: tomatillo, some orange tomato, Dr. Wine yellow tomatoes, and then the beefsteak tomatoes and pink Thai eggs. Got a lot of hot peppers, pumpkins, kale, beets, celery, Brussels sprouts, lemon balm, English lavender, basil, chervil. The chives don't look like they came in. They're right there. Cilantro's coming in great. Parsley. I was going to be transplanting a lot of this stuff into bigger cups like this. So then these are some peas. They're ready to sell. Pumpkin. Over there I've got green beans. Here we got kale and some more watermelon. And yeah, I just figured may as well use this greenhouse for something this year. The Jules, hey, thanks a lot. That's nice of you to say. Today I'm going to focus on transplanting, taking cuttings of these blackberry bushes. I got this one blackberry bush. It just grows like a monster. And I'm going to just sit down and do a live stream and take some cuttings. And yeah, welcome to the Happy Old Dog and Cat Farm. but I'll try to keep this in camera focus. So we're looking for little buds. Sorry, I gotta work on the close-ups. And yeah, as you can see, we've got little green buds here. So I'm probably just gonna, I could just do 3 or 4 nodes, but we want to do a 45. Sorry, working on this, folks. Bear with me. Do a 45 there, and we'll do another 45 there. And that should give me the good starting point for a nice new plant. And then you got some of this might be woody, and apparently when it goes woody it's not good anymore, but that's budding. $45. See, I'm gonna make these about a foot long. And someone called me out on the latest bottle of the latest batch of Tammy's Tropical Red and said that's AI. That's AI art, and I will admit that is AI art. However, I did modify a lot of it to give it my own flair, so I feel like it's a little more than AI art. More of a remix of AI art, but I just didn't have enough time, guys. I've been so busy. I could have designed something on my own, but I felt bad for trying to use AI slop. So please forgive me, community. Either way, how you all doing out there? I look at AI stuff as just like another way of doing something, you know? Like there's AI garbage out there, sure, but I mean, come on. What I was doing wasn't necessarily garbage. I was just trying to make a fun little lighthearted label for some wine I was making. I'm gonna leave that skinny guy longer. Look at this big honker. We are going to go right there. And I'm going to give you a 45 down here. You know that some people, some gardeners will pay $100+ for a pair of these. I got these at Dollar General for like $5. It's lightning out. Yeah, we're supposed to have snow tomorrow. It's literally like 80 degrees right now. Shout out to Dollar General, indeed. Actually, their corporate offices are located not too far from where I live. So yeah, I think I'm just going to make these about a foot or so long. And this is the time of year to do this, so. Oh, that one's going to be a great one. I can just tell. Gosh, I got a lot of these to do. I'm going to have a lot of plants, guys. Good reading weather, indeed. This one's going to be unusual. I'll do right there at the node. And honestly, I feel like I just want to leave this alone. Well, I'm going to leave that one alone. Ooh-wee. I gotta tell you, I was prepping my garden beds this morning early, and boy, I got hit hard. I've been working. My wife Mary came out and helped me. She got all wore out. I think she's already asleep. But I'm gonna take her for her Sunday margarita. We have a standing date for margaritas. on Sundays. Yeah, my only problem is I like the food at places that Mexican restaurants that don't serve margaritas more than I do at the ones that do serve margaritas, because they're just kind of all gringo based. Egg foo young, that's some good stuff. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind just whipping out there. Here, let me see if you can see. Egg foo young? Yeah. Have you ever tried mushu pork? Mushu pork is pretty amazing. And then the thing I've been digging lately is what they call mala, which is that numbing spicy feeling that you get from Szechuan food and from northern Chinese food. So we actually had a place open up in town that's northern Chinese, and really been enjoying going there and getting the numbing spicy stuff. Yeah, mala. It's called mala, M-A-L-A. That feeling. Is this alive or not? Huh. I keep these two together. So what's all been going on with you guys? Other than just crap weather and Iranian wars. That's awesome. Oh, I think I just got a text from someone that wants to buy my house for like 15% of what it's worth. Hi, I just got your number from blah blah blah. And no, you didn't. My life has been pretty hectic, I'm not gonna lie. Remodeling this church is starting to affect me. Messes with my sleep. And yeah, you know, I want to just do right by everyone involved, and it's just hard when just all the people involved are just so disparate. And yeah, sometimes I'll admit I feel like it's hopeless. It's a lot of physical work, but it's a lot of mental strain too. It's definitely a mental game. Like just the blueprints for this project alone is like 170 pages, and what, 12 different like volume changes to it. So keeping information straight is insane. And Yeah, and then just the fact that like it's a 130-year-old building with a 100-year-old church attached to it, or a 100-year-old schoolhouse attached to it, and it gets out of hand pretty quick. But yeah, as I can see, this is some not so fun content. It's not as good as having cute dogs and cats running around, but this is what it is. I just wanted to have more of a chat, more of a chill. And maybe I should work the angle where you can see me cutting. Let me see if I can work this out. Cool if this thing could support me like this. There we go. It's not so bad. Come forward a little bit. Fairchild Gardens. I've never heard of Fairchild Gardens. Is that supposed to be something well known? That's a better shot. Forgive me for my unkempt look. I've been working in the garden for hours. Oh, your mom's super into plants? Well, gosh, I can only imagine how fun it would be to live in Florida and be into plants. Oh, look at this one. Got these little buds on there. Well, Venus flytrap's a carnivorous plant. And they're usually not as impressive in real life as you'd expect. Cartoons have really... You see how there's that little bit of green there? That means it's alive. I think in the area near me, I want to grow like mushrooms or something cool. Yeah, my wife got into growing mushrooms for a while, but she's like a microbiologist. She's really into mycology, I think that's what it's called. And it's totally different. Like you grow it in a closet. You have to be really clean so it doesn't get infected. And but you know, it can be really fun. Yeah, they don't get that. They don't get very big, and you have to be careful with like Venus flytraps, because if they don't catch a bug, you're supposed to feed them meat, and if it's too big of a piece of meat, it'll rot before they can digest it, and then that will kill it. But they're fun to have if you know, a little one on a desk. It's totally cool. There's also like other uh, carnivorous plants too, other than just the Venus flytrap. Look at this one. A lot of this is from one plant. There's one plant that just grows, man. I'm probably gonna Oh wow, when I put my face on camera, fewer people want to watch. Uh-oh. Not doing very good content today. Well, so what? It's also a Sunday. Not everyone will enjoy the serene calm of a greenhouse. Got a big one here. Oh, hit the camera. Y'all like blackberries? Personally, I think blackberries are magic. Like one of the fun things about like wanting blackberries and like raspberries is there's a certain chemical that only exists on Earth in blackberries and raspberries. And the only way that chemical got here was from outer space. So the only reason that we have blackberries and raspberries is because of the chemical that landed here a long, long time ago from outer space. Not a lot of people know that. They like to accept that, but it's the truth. All good. Zell. I've always been amazed by Zell. I always felt like they were just trying a little too hard to get my business because they're attached to my bank too. This one. Better not. I got some better stuff than that. What in the merc? You could have burned the house down. Jeez. I'm glad he fixed them. What in the Mercury retrograde? I love that one. So anybody likes to chat up, feel free to chat me up. I'm willing to talk about pretty much anything at this point. We're the Happy Old Dog and Cat Farm, and we adopt old dogs and cats. And we do gardening. And today we're propagating blackberry vines. Because one of my plants is just a monster, and it's just growing everywhere. And I figured I could turn this into probably about 40 or 50 different plants. And I figured what a fun time to just hang out. Hey Mariah's mom. Great to see you. I'm just propagating blackberry vines right now. We're doing a lot of like seed starters this year. Excuse me, because all of Mary's tropical plants died out here over our big freeze, and I just figured, what a good way to just use what we got here. And hello to Kansas. My niece just did, had like a top placing finish in the NCAA championships yesterday. Pretty proud of her for that. I think she took 6th in the nation. Wow, then there was 2. It was funny, people like the first person point of view, and then I turn around and I put my ugly mug on camera and everyone signs off, which is fine. I'm just hanging today. I'm not taking anything seriously. I did make pretty good dinner last night. I made, what do you call it? What do you want to call it? I can't think of the name of it. I took like beef stroganoff and made it like lasagna, so it was like a lasagna stroganoff. It's really good. As you can imagine, adding a bunch of cream and beef to noodles was good. Mapo tofu? Ooh. Yeah, I love mapo tofu. Thought you said you only eat the same thing. Mapo tofu udon? Yeah, that sounds interesting. Sounds good though, too. I kind of just like that. I'll tell you one thing, we're already running out of space in this greenhouse. Might have to take over this other table. My wife still has her dying plants on. I'm not going to bring that up to her today. It's a sore subject at this point. She looked at a lot of those plants like her children. She had for like 5 years. So yeah, most of Mary's plants, at least the ones out here, died. We had 8 days without power out here, freezing temperatures, and everything died. She has one table left, and on it, maybe 10% of the stuff is still alive, and it's just probably not gonna get over the plant shock. So what I've done out here is, flip it around, I bought some seeds and we're going to do starters this year and sell them and hopefully make some money for some new plants. And so right now, this farm was initially an herbal farm, sold culinary herb starters, and so definitely planting like English lavender, catnip, marjoram, a lot of herbs, and then veggies too. Tomatoes, stuff that people want. Wow, this is alive. See anybody else? Oh, you. Whole other vine here. Yeah, yeah, it's a bummer. I love farmers markets. Oh, look at the end of this. Look at the end of that. It's really weird. Oh, I bet this was so when blackberry vines slope over into the ground, they start to root, and they'll actually start growing from both ends. So that's probably a root ball. Gosh, guys, I probably got like 100 plants here, and I definitely don't have 100 tubs. How many dogs do we have? We have 5 dogs. We usually keep 5 dogs at once, and we adopt them very old or sick, and we let them live out their days here on the farm and let them walk around, and they have access to a dog door, and we go on adventures. And we also have 3 cats, and I just did a Lexi episode yesterday, and I should be able to put that together in the next few days, but right now she's having health problems. We're a little worried about her, and she has a growth on in her mouth, on her teeth, like near her teeth, and so we may end up having to put her under anesthesia, but they're kind of worried. We're worried anyway that a 19-year-old cat going under anesthesia might not be the best thing for the cat. Alright, so I've got a bunch of these old guys, and I got a big pile of dirt right here. Just gonna start putting these guys together. Oops. $3.49 for an heirloom tomato. Wow. So I've got about 9 different varieties of tomato that I'm propagating out here, and they're all heirloom. Granted, they're not grown yet, but $3.49 for a tomato is pretty wild. I'm sort of kind of amazed how expensive just stuff is in general lately. I think I'm going to do 2 per, and then try to find room for them later. I'll put you right there. Oh, some heirloom tomatoes are intense though. Like one of the tomatoes I'm growing is black. Plus, there's always the purple heirloom, the white heirloom. Yeah, prices are insane, and that's why, I'm always saying, if you can, try to grow your own food. But, also be prepared to screw up, but go easy on yourself. Like I say, if you're starting for the first time, like buy some starters. They're about 1.5 feet tall. Set yourself up for success. Don't start from seed. Oh wow. Yeah, that's I grew cherry tomatoes, and that's funny because the next year the next year I had cherry tomato plants popping out of everywhere, including my compost piles. I had like these huge tomato plants just coming right out. Oh, did this one wrong. You need to go down there like that, buddy. There you go. That's a little better. I screw up a lot. Cherry tomatoes. Yeah, they are so hard to mess up. But then at the same time, keep an eye out next year because chances are there's going to be plants popping up right here where you grew them. Those plants produce so many seeds. I mean, for us in this zone, tomatoes don't need to get in the ground until April. Okay. Some of these are going to be fun. I love beets. Um, do the birds ever steal your veggies? The birds like eating my elderberries. Anything sweet, birds will eat. But one thing I'm starting to learn more about berries is that if you give them a chance, they will grow. It's one of my favorite things, though, is, gosh, dude, homemade blackberry jam. It's one of the greatest things on this planet. I can't stop recommending it to everybody. Like, I'd say if you really want to have fun, grow a blackberry plant or a blueberry plant that's already fruiting. So you don't have to wait a couple of years. With berries, specifically acidic soil. You want to get soil acidifier, and then also too, just certain areas do better with certain berries. Like, don't, I would definitely, like, I wouldn't order a plant in. I'd go find a local area or nursery that sells it. One that's accustomed to the climate, and then I would do that. It's easier to propagate berries that are from your area. But yeah, other than that, you need acidic soil. So if you haven't done tests on your soil, I'd recommend just picking up some soil acidifier and just watering it in every few months. Um, and it's funny too, because like I've had really good experience with blackberries and raspberries, but my blueberry plants always die. So I'm like starting to just give up on blueberries. Yeah, might as well test it anyway. I was reading a whole thing about like how the Amish and Mennonites do their gardening, and there's this thing called like this German word, and it's called like God's will or whatever. And they every year put down 4 to 6 inches of compost or topsoil every year wherever they grow, and then they don't do monoculture rows. They like specifically grow, like they'll do dillweed next to tomatoes so that it confuses the tomato bug and stuff like that. It's So that's gonna be my vibe this year. Is I've ordered a bunch of potting soil, big pile of garden soil, so I could do these. Oops, sorry. So I could do these starters, and then also just top my beds a little bit. And yeah, so it's like always amend your soil. So do you think pouring pickle juice would help? Pickle juice where would you be pouring pickle juice? 'Cause pickle juice is just a lot of like vinegar and salt and sugar, so it's probably going to kill anything living. Oh, on the soil for berries? No, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, basically you're looking like a lot of soil, at least like in my area, my soil is literally at like 6.5 to 7, which is fairly neutral. And like a lot of soil, like I think it needs to be down to like 6 or 5.5 to 6 for berries to thrive. And it's like a lot of times like berries and grapes need heavier, more acidic soil. A lot of times people believe that like a grape that is in hard rocky soil will be sweeter because it has to work harder. And it's like you don't necessarily want like ideal conditions for the best tasting fruit, but if you're just looking to get stuff growing, you're just looking to lower the pH a little bit. Yeah, adding compost you'll never regret it. Um, I used to be into this. Well, there's just not a lot out there. I read her book. Her name was Ruth Stout, and she's considered like the grandmother of the organic gardening movement. And she just figured out that, and actually the Native Americans figured it out, and they just call it blanket gardening, where you just take squares of straw and just add straw and add like 6 inches of straw to your garden bed and wet it down, and then plant your plants in between that and in little holes, and it's drought resistant. It ends up like growing plants just like voraciously, like well-grown plants, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's one of those things where like standard monoculture and people's approaches to monoculture have just sort of withered away. But we do see signs of like blanket gardening, like in a sense where like they're not doing it with straw, but they are doing it with like mesh and plastics. And what it does is it'll cover up any weeds because they're covered. They won't have a chance to grow. It just sort of foregoes a lot of problems. And it decomps into excellent soil, exactly. And so like Ruth Stout, basically it sounds like what happened was her husband died, and she had to keep the garden going. And there's videos of her on YouTube in like the 70s, and she's probably 85 or 90 years old. And part of her whole spiel is just like, I'm 85 years old and I can take care of a quarter-acre garden. I spend maybe 15 minutes a day doing it. And which is, if anybody's ever had a quarter-acre garden, they realize like it takes a lot longer than 15 minutes a day. But that's all she does. She just have them bring out some more straw, put it down. She'd then also take like her kitchen scraps too and just lift up the straw and throw it under it. And then by about the third year, it just becomes self-sustaining. And yeah, and long story short, it's just another reason why, you know, your garden's only as good as your soil. People can achieve like the same type of thing by just trucking in a bunch of soil and dirt. I'm just so glad like this used to be a garden, because these were just literally laying around. But yeah, how many am I? 5 viewers. Well, guys, thanks for joining in. Feel free to ask any questions. We're just propagating blackberry vines right now and just chatting on a Sunday. Here's the blackberry vines I cut. And I'm just putting like 3 in a pot, and a lot of them should take off and root. And what am I looking forward to today is going to get a margarita later, and hopefully taking a nap before I have to go back to another week of crap. Yeah, pine needles, coffee grounds. Yep, that's true too. They always say growing berries near pine trees is always good on a slope of a hill. I was watching a channel called Garden, and people focus on feeding their plants rather than feeding their soil. Interesting. What do they do to feed their plants? Because I mean, I agree, you got to feed your plants, but at the same time, I focus on soil because I have a lot of intense clay soil out here. It's not the best, and finally, after about 5 years, my garden beds are starting to look like real soil. Oh, like fertilizer and plant food. Yeah, that's cool. I was doing, for about 2 years, I did this thing called Korean natural farming, and it's like doing a lot of ferments and stuff, and spraying essential nutrients, and really focusing on the plant. And it was interesting, and everybody I saw online doing it seemed to have good results, but at the same time it was like, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever, why isn't, you know, like, it works for some people, but I don't know. I guess I just stopped doing it. I think basically because I went down to Ace Hardware one year, and they were like desperately trying to give away a bunch of plants, and I just, like, really late in the season, they're like, all these plants are free, just take them. And I like literally had 150 like pepper plants, and I just planted them everywhere I could. And it was too late to do any natural farming, Korean natural farming on it. But yeah, KNF, it's called KNF if you ever want to read into it. It's about fermenting and producing your own fertilizers. And honestly, I don't want to knock it. It did favorable. I had favorable results with my gardens. Yeah, the thing is just like, I mean, like, a lot of fertilizers are just like, and Mariah's mom, I think you're talking about, you're talking about like stuff that topically went on the plant. Are you talking like, you know, Milorganite and worm castings and stuff like that? Because yeah, I'm all for that too. That one's going to be a good plant someday. Yeah, pine needles put a natural acidity. You could bed around if you have pine needles handy. You could definitely use that. A box of soil acidifier, I think it's like 15 bucks though, too. So I wouldn't go out of your way to find pine needles unless you literally like had them on hand. And like I say, you're not a lot of times you're not looking to drastically acidify your soil either. But pine needles don't do that. We're running out of space back here. Pinky, you gonna grow some peppers this year? I mean, I think Pinky doesn't realize that she's in one of the. Oh, she probably realizes it. Who am I kidding? That she's in one of the greatest areas of the country to grow food. Down in southern Florida. Well, maybe southern Florida. But I mean, you're in tropical. I mean, it's like Pinky. Tell me about your avocado tree that's in your front yard. No, that's the stuff like I always hear about from people living in Florida. Like they all have like orange trees and avocado trees outside their door. I have a lot of big pots. Well, that's cool. Let's put this back here. Oh. I ain't lying, folks. I'm stiff. Yep, there you go. Pinky. I have 2 avocado trees on each side of the house and mango trees in the back. Absolutely amazing. I would be making Mama's mango wine every year if I had mango trees. Yeah, absolutely jealous here too. Like imagine just walking outside and grabbing an avocado. Like it's on the ground. I mean, that's just the joy of living in a tropical environment. We're in, where I'm in subtropical. That's always been our problem because my wife loves her tropical plants. But, you know, we had power outage and she lost thousands and thousands of dollars in tropical plants. Starfruit tree. It can give you kidney stones. Oh man. That's why you just gotta make that stuff into wine. I would make a starfruit tree into starfruit wine tree. Nature's amazing and whimsical. Birds that talk, fruit shaped like stars. I agree. Or the fact that we wouldn't have raspberries if it wasn't for a chemical from outer space landing on Earth 1 trillion years ago. Meanwhile, we just have tomatoes. Boo. Well, we've got this year we've really done well. It's the first year that we had 5 fruit. We planted 6 fruit trees or 7 fruit trees a couple years back, and this is the first year that they're actually flowering. So we're hoping they'll fruit. We had like a plum tree, a peach tree, some other tree that's like a mix of the two. Our plum and apricot mix, an apricot tree, peach tree. I can't remember all of them, but they're flowering this year, and it's wild to think about that. Less than a month ago, they were literally encased in ice. Howdy do, Buckingham. Nice to see you. Cheers from the heart of Virginia. That's beautiful. Always remember Stone Mountain. Buckingham Bard, what are you up to today on this fine Sunday? Right now we're just propagating blackberry cuttings. The orange flower in them. Oh, I bet those mango trees give a nice scent. You know, I haven't heard from for a while is Granny Paula. I hope she's doing good. Do a few singles here. But I'll admit, I haven't been the best YouTube pal in a while. But I'm always working on it, folks. Just bear with me if you get sick of me. On Granny Paula? Sure. She's got a lot going on, though, in her life. I know that for a fact. She talks like a person that doesn't stop moving. Nancy, how you doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Granny Paula. She's my first super fan. You know what I never thought would happen when I was a kid? I never thought gas stations would serve better food than fast food restaurants. We've got a gas station here that called Quick Trip, and it honestly makes better food than like most fast food places. Yeah, she's in Pennsylvania. Well, I mean, gas station food used to be horrible, but it's like gotten better. It's gotten like a lot better. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. But literally, like, you can go to Quick Trip and get like a submarine sandwich that's, you know, damn near as good as Jimmy John's. They've got chicken tenders that are definitely better than Chick-fil-A, and they got pizza that's definitely better than Papa John's and Pizza Hut. So it's like, what are we wasting our time with here? You know? Oh yeah, Wawa. We got Wawas coming here too. A friend of mine always preaches about Wawa. You got Wawas down in Florida? I thought they were just northeast coast. I went to Quick Trip yesterday and got got a sub, and there was a Mennonite family in there, and I watched the father literally buy 25 hot dogs and put ketchup on them, and then run out of there. It was pretty amazing watching that go down. I'm like, dude, where are you going with all those hot dogs? All right, so I need to find. I got this many more that need to find some vessel to grow in. Guess I got this guy left. I could do one more of these. You know, I got mixed feelings about 7-Elevens because they came here, and now 7-Elevens, like, they stopped doing all like their weird cool food that they did, and now they just like, so like here our 7-Elevens are will have Laredo Taco Company in them, which isn't that great, and they also have like some crappy fried chicken place. It's literally like the worst fried chicken I've ever eaten in my life. Or else they will, yeah, Laredo Taco Company, or else some other like chicken place, and it's all just kind of like vomit. Like nothing, everything's made like hours ago, and it's no more of that like cool prepackaged stuff that like you see on the food blogs. Yeah, it's really bad now. At least where we're around. They obviously figured out it's cheaper to just make that crap. You will suffer, but you will suffer. Oh, I gotta stretch. Let's see. I see a couple more pots over there, but I have no way of getting to them. Nothing beats Church's chicken. Oh, Church's chicken makes taquitos. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Church's here, and I gotta say, man, I'm a Popeyes boy. I'm only gonna go to Popeyes. I'll go right by Church's, but that's just because they're not so great here. Bear with me, folks. I'm gonna be. Unless you want to I'll take you with me. You can take a look at what I got going on here. These are all of our starters. They're gonna need transplanting, but we got a big freeze coming. Here's all the plants I've just been making while we've been chatting. Oop, there's a pot. That'll be a good one. Ooh, all these will work. Yeah, but I get it. I didn't even know they made taquitos. Now you've got me wondering. I just know that if I go to a fried chicken place, that fried chicken should be crispy. And that's all. It should just be crispy. I'm not looking to like change the world order or anything. I just want some fried chicken, some crispy fried chicken. And if you can't do that, what are you doing? That should be enough. All right, let's go back this up a bit. Give me a little more room. Oh, 7-Eleven taquitos. Yeah, I mean at Quick Trip they've got this like insane like roller station just full of like all these different taquitos. Like stuff from another realm. Cutest little chihuahua named Cute. Yeah, you might be near a good churches, and I might just be near a bad one. My neighbor has the cutest little chihuahua named Taquito. Well, I need to get going. Oh, train some stuff up. Good seeing you, Mariah's mom. Love having you come by. Have a great week. I hope you don't get hit too hard by the storm coming up. Ooh. Here we go, back at it. Boy, the wind is howling through here. I don't know if y'all can hear that. Luckily I made this greenhouse right. It really even feels it. You're a smarty pants. Fuel is at $10 soon. Shop, cook at home, yay. I agree. And part of me wants to, I just go out for margaritas once or twice a week. And part of me doesn't even want to do that. Part of me wants to get like the margarita machine. Popeyes was founded by Al Copeland. Oh yeah, what else does Al Copeland own? That's fascinating. Well, I'll tell you what, this fried chicken is magic. It's so good. And he is a magic person. Whoa! Sorry about that, folks. I think the wind caught that one a little bit. He has a cheesecake bistro. Honky Tonkin? Is that one of his joints? Dude, that sounds like Nashville if you ask me, but it still sounds delicious. A cheesecake bistro. There's a lot to unpack there. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'll tell you what, once it hits 3:30, I'm heading for a margarita. just something, like, even if I could just have something without tequila in it that was just like a frozen margarita, like a limey frozen margarita, I probably would. Probably be the same thing. It just sort of like talks to my brain. Ernest Tubbs Record Shop just reopened. That's pretty good. A good buddy of mine downtown right now, he owns the Acme Feed and Seed Company. Nashville's going through a weird thing with property taxes right now, and they essentially priced the building that, like, he literally was an old feed and seed company and turned it into like this iconic restaurant and live music venue right down there. They like tripled the value of the place on him, and now he can barely afford the property taxes. Ernest Tubbs Record Shop, yeah, it's a cool place. Not a lot of people are into physical media anymore, so it's definitely you know what they say, it's definitely a dying thing. You know, can't go wrong when it comes down to Ernest Tubbs. I'll just do this one. Well, if you come to Nashville, hit me up. Cheesecake Bistro is embedded in the Garden District Hotel, and it was great. I used to brunch there on Sunday. Wow. So are you who am I looking at? Petarock? Or is that, yeah, Petarock 8510? Are you in New Orleans local? A New Orleans local? New Orleans. I believe that's how it's supposed to be said. Pinky, you should buy a record player, but I will tell you, like, they make some pretty good cheap remake like record players now, and for like, you know, $80 to $100 you could get the same result. Like, you buy something at a thrift store and chances are it's probably not going to work, or it might have a problem, but you never know. I guess what I'm saying is you got to definitely try to like hook it up and play it before you buy it. But I guarantee that if you went to Amazon and punched in record player, you'd probably find something pretty cool for like, you know, for just like, you know, honestly, probably under $100. You don't live in New Orleans anymore? Well, that's a shame. I mean, I bet that city could wear you out, but at the same time, I bet it's one of the greatest places on earth. Oh. Oh. Thrift stores are sketchy. Alright, so here we go. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. On top of the 5 that are already rooted. So I got 30 plants. Blue blackberry plants. Which I'm hoping will thrive. And I'm probably just going to leave them on the ground here because there's really running out of a lot of space. And yeah, so we're gonna water them in. And we'll clean up some of these stems so they can sit up a little better in the pots. Someone's shooting their gun out over there. I don't know if you hear that. All right, everyone. Well, I think I'm going to call it for the day. I've literally been turning gardens since 7 a.m. And love y'all, and thanks for coming out and watching. And it's always great to catch up with you. And I should have an episode out this week. Keep an eye out for it. Take care, y'all. Love you.